Welcome to LinkedUp, Breaking Boundaries in Education, a podcast that focuses on what is happening in education today, connecting everyone to the movers and shakers that are breaking boundaries in the education arena.
Hey, welcome to LinkedUp, Breaking Boundaries in Education. Not only is it Jamie and Jerri, but we are also doing a podcast Smackdown with the UnDisrupted podcasters.
Cart took out the first one, like, oh, that's weird. None of them worked. None of them were on. They're all dead. The teacher's looking at me laughing because I'm the tech guy, right? And she's like, oh, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
And I go, you know what? In my head, I was like, okay, take out your notebooks. We'll write about what could have happened. I was like, no, let me ask the kids. I go, kids, I've never used this before. I don't know what's happening. What should we do? Two kids said, what if we pulled a couple of the plugs out of the unit, plug them directly into the wall? They'll charge faster that way. We'll set up a little pit stop. And so these two kids acted as pit stop agents for the vault, and they just kind of rotated them through. It was amazing. And if I had just stopped it at that moment and said, get out your notebooks and write, it would never happen. Sometimes ask when you make a mistake.
Yes.
All right.
And ask the kids.
Ask the kids, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'm going to throw everybody for a loop on this one. My one word I would say is Cougars. My high school is Northview Cougars in Dothan, Alabama. I grew up in Alabama.
Yeah.
And so when I first started doing like the Promethean Active Board training, I was like showing everybody, oh, you can search for images and you can do all these things within the platform. And I had recently came from the classroom and went to the central office. So, of course, they upgraded my rights and access that I had on the computers. So I went in there and I'm like, it's so simple. You can search images. And I had like one of those mobile keyboards. So I wasn't necessarily looking at my panel. Like I said, let's just say I want to type in, I'm going to find my mascot. And I typed in the word Cougars. And I was just talking. I didn't turn around and look at the board. And then I hear the gas. And I see the lady clutching her pearls. And then I literally turn around and let's just say it was not the Row Cougars. It was the Row Cougars that was up there. Somebody was like, hello, Marcus. But yeah, so I learned my lesson there that as you get elevated rights in the computer and you're able to search things, make sure you know what you're searching.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good tip.
Okay. But enough about us. Let's see what the audience says. Our guests today, what are their biggest failures? And we have a few coming up here. Someone said URL shortener. That could be, there's all sorts of ways that could go. We've got backup. Always have a backup plan. Backup plan. Freeze. Who did freeze? Tell us real quick, what's freeze?
Oh, yes, of course.
Yes.
Oh, joy.
Yep.
Oh, joy.
I was doing a keynote once where I went up and my MacBook, the screen was blank, couldn't see anything. I had 162 slides, 5 minutes to go. The computer was on, but the screen was blank. And that's when I discovered that if you hold your MacBook and close the lid about part way and shake it really hard, it resets itself. True story. Look it up. I'm not making it up. And it reset and it relaunched. It's something about the accelerometer set off something. But anyway.
It's kind of like the undo when you flip your phone.
It's like undo. You just shake it.
Yeah.
I figured if I shake it hard enough, something would either
funny.
break or I was just about ready to kill it. Okay, next question coming up. Let me reset the poll here as the internet catches up. What are some of the, this is kind of a sad one. What are some of the best ed tech tools that are no longer with us? This is the in memoriam section.
Yes.
Adam, do you have something for us?
As I'm thinking about the various tools that are out there, I'd say this song's dedicated to my homie, Jamboard. Pour out some organization for that bad boy. I love that tool. It was one that I had so many resources already packed in and started sharing. And then Google was like, guess what? Jamboard's going away. No more jamming for you. So this is for my homie. Pour a little coffee out for my homie, Jamboard.
Yeah, Jamboard. A lot of people miss that.
Rest in peace, Jamboard.
Yes,
all right, Jamie, you're next.
Okay. So mine is not a recent one. Mine is from back in the 90s when I started doing those collaborative internet projects. Netscape Communicator. I loved it. Anyone, no one's old enough to remember. Okay. Yay.
Somebody's like, what's this navigator you speak of?
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. So there was Netscape Navigator and the Netscape Communicator, which allowed you to create web pages in there. So I used my HTML to create all my web pages. But also it was the internet browser. So it was a whole entire package. I think there are other parts to it too, but Netscape Communicator. Yes. Rest in peace.
Yes. Jerri, what about you?
All right. Well, I've been around a long time. I've written a eulogy. We gather here with stylus in hand to bid farewell to a gadget so grand. The Palm Pilot.
There it is.
Legend of yore, a pocket-sized hero we all did adore. Born in the 90s, a trailblazing star with 512 kilobytes. Oh, how bizarre. It kept us on schedule. It made us feel cool in a time where flip phones still rule the school.
Yep.
Remember the joy of that infrared beam, sharing files like a sci-fi dream? Beam me that note, we'd say with pride, as data leapt through the tech divide. But time marched on and the rivals arose. Blackberries and iPhones delivered the blows.
Oh, yeah.
Poor Palm tried its best to keep up in the race, yet the tech world left it, losing its place. Now in gadget heaven, it rests with grace, with Walkmans, Zunes, and floppy disk space, where batteries last and syncs never fail, and stylus roam free. No lost trail. So here's to you, our dear friend. You organized chaos right to the end. Though you retired, your legacy thrives in every app. Simplifies our lives. Rest in peace, Palm Pilot, you sweet old sprite. May your pixels shine forever bright.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Did you write that?
Or did you have help?
My friend Chatty.
Chatty. We call her Chatty.
I did the-
Yeah.
Chatty.
I did the
Chatty.
same thing for mine.
Yeah.
So I'll remember this tool that revolutionized education by amplifying student voices and sparking meaningful discussions from its launch in 2015 to its evolution and buyout by Microsoft in 2022. Does anyone know what I'm talking about yet? This tool empowered millions of educators and students around the world to connect, create, and collaborate like never before.
It's a sad one.
It gave shy voices the confidence to speak and turned learning into a dynamic, engaging experience. While the name Flipgrid and Flip is no longer with us, its spirit lives on, inspiring classrooms to embrace creativity and connection. Let us honor its legacy by continuing to amplify student voices and fostering authentic engagement.
Indeed.
Rest in peace.
Indeed.
Okay, but
Rest in peace.
enough about us. Let's see what you guys said as well. Oh, yes.
Yes,
Flip,
there it is.
Pelican, Google Expeditions. Yeah, that was so good.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Someone
the
just said
best.
Google. Oh, I think you meant Google Expeditions. Okay.
Yeah.
Money.
Cases, money. I love that money is one of the
Money.
Money.
was nice when
Maybe
we
it was
had
money
it.
spent.
Yeah.
Spent.
It was nice when we had it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Some good ones up there as well. It looks like Flip hit a couple of these
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Pelican headset.
Pelican headsets.
I thought it was sad when the name Flipgrid changed to Flip. That was just sad. But then for it to go all
I
together.
always feel like coming to America, Mama named him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay. I'm like, Mama called him Flipgrid. I'm gonna name him Flipgrid. I never, yeah.
All right, our next question is up, and it is, what are the biggest reasons why EdTech succeeds in school? Now, on this one, we've given you multiple choice. I don't know if this thing is still, it's still on. Yeah, we've given you multiple choice, and each one of us is going to have our own response to this and kind of expand on it. I'm going to start, and my thing is expectations, which is one of the choices you can choose from. There's in my head, I've seen this before. When I had two middle schools with the exact same demographics, everything the exact same, except for the principal. It was amazing how technology worked in one school and didn't in the other. And it came down to a simple wording of what the principal said at a faculty meeting. I was at both meetings. Meeting A, the principal goes, hey guys, we got iPads. We're going to start using them. My expectation is you come, take them with you to the meeting, take notes. Principal B, I go to that meeting. So the district has said that we're going to use iPads with our students. So you guys are going to have to figure that out. And you can tell which one took off. Both staffs, amazing, but one had a difference in expectations, and that staff rose to the challenge. So I think expectation from principal is a big reason why EdTech succeeds in schools. And I yield the rest of my time to the gentleman from Georgia.
Yes.
I'm going to say for mine, vision. I've seen some districts bring in technology and they have the vision of one Stevie Wonder because they have no idea what they're doing or where it's going or what the end goal should be. Ultimately, some of them look at it as, oh, everybody else is 1-to-1, so we should be 1-to-1 too. Why? I don't know, because they're doing it. So you have to have that vision to see, okay, what does it look like not only today, tomorrow, and in the future, and what should be the end goal? What should be some measurables that you want to have when you roll out technology? So having that clear vision for what this should look like, I think when districts have that, they have great success because it's not always just tied to student test scores, because we know we do way too much stuff in school districts to tie student achievement to technology. So having a clear way to measure it, having that vision of what this should look like, that is how I see with that vision, schools being successful with their technology integration there. Yeah.
Indeed.
Jerri.
Yes. So I'm going to say access, and 24/7 access in particular. I always said that having a computer, a laptop that they can take home made my poorest student rich. It gave them so many opportunities. But then once we rolled them out, access was still a problem. I remember we rolled them out and then we came back to the tech integration group in the district and I said, how's it going? And they said, it's not. And I said, what's going on? And they said, it is so hard to find stuff. We had kindergartners typing in these long links and people can't get to their things and all of this is happening. So, plug for the company I work for, ClassLink, is the one that brought it all together in one space and made life organized and easy for our teachers and our students. And especially like in COVID, where grandma is helping students with the work and they don't know where to find these things. So if you have everything in one space where they can find it with the access and they have access to a device, I think that's what can make technology work.
Awesome.
There you go.
All right, Jamie.
Absolutely. I'm going to say purpose. So I have this quote on my webpage that curriculum, instruction, and social emotional learning play the lead while technology plays the supporting role. Technology should always be the support and not the purpose. The purpose is the kids, is really the kids. And that's really what the end goal is. So that is really what we never want technology to be the driving force. Don't just get tech to have tech. There needs to be a purpose beyond that. And tech is going to play that supporting role. So there you go.
But interesting results as we look at our multiple choice answers here. Why did the audience think the biggest reason why EdTech succeeds? And it's kind of spread out all over. And let's be honest, I mean, it probably is really all of these things that makes it succeed. If you're missing one of these in a big way,
connections, yes.
The connection seems to be the lead on this. But yeah, vision, obviously having that support and training is important and funding is important. But when you have to pick just one, it's which one's the most important. I do think, if you're missing a couple parts of this, it doesn't work. Right. If you have the funding and the technology and you have a vision, but you don't have the support and training, it's not going to work. If you have the training and support, but again, you don't have the tools, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
I was going to say the reason why they all succeed there is because they use the Future Ready framework for their long-range strategic planning.
There you go.
It can be found at futureready.org.
How much does that cost, Adam?
$3.99. $3.99.
Our favorite cost, $3.99.
Excellent.
Okay, next up, we've got another one here. This is what's the most creative use of AI in your life? So this does not have to be just professional. It could be like some creative way you use it. You have 30 seconds on the clock, starting with Jamie. 30 seconds on the clock. What is the most creative use of AI that you've used so far?
Okay. So I used to do choose your own adventure activities with students and they made them. And I thought, how cool would it be to use AI to create it? So I spent a lot of time using multiple tools, AI tools, to create a choose your own adventure. It got to a point where I needed to use Python. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to have to put a pause on that until I download it and play with it myself. But I'm really excited to finish that project off because that's going to be pretty cool. I'm really excited.
Wow, that sounds very professional of you, and I love that. I love that about you there. But I'm going to take it in a totally different direction.
Yeah.
During the holiday season, I had these people come over to my house. My parents, my wife's parents. Those people. And I wanted to have this whole holiday spirit thing going on. And so, what's better way to have holiday spirit going on than with holiday spirits? So I had these beverages, and I wanted to make a nice holiday beverage. And so I used the chat GPT on my phone and I pulled out various bottles of things that were there. And I took a picture of it. Then I said, hey, make me a holiday beverage. And it gave me from the picture, it gave me some really nice recipes to make. And then I said, okay, what other things could I kind of add and make a better drink? And it gave me a couple of things to add on my grocery list. And when I added it, I had my cranberries in there, had some nice thyme thing in there. Yeah, it was amazing. So that's me. It's turned me into a bartender.
There you go.
ChatGPT bartender.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
should have brought us some today.
Right. Yes. What are you thinking? Come on.
Jerri, you're up next.
Okay, so at first I thought Suno because I love music, but I have no musical talent and it can write the songs for us. But then when I came on this trip, I made a post and people have been coming up to me everywhere saying, I loved that post with your luggage. And look it up. I'm Tech Savvy Soup on the socials. You've got to see the post with my luggage.
It's about
a lot of
27 pieces of luggage, just to spoil the picture for you.
But I use AI to say, I'm going to a conference in Florida. Please choose 5 outfits. I need one for a cocktail party. Tell me what accessories, what should I wear, what kind of shoes, and it plans my entire wardrobe. Now, you might think it's a big fail because it takes a lot of luggage to do what AI tells you.
But that's not uncommon for Jerri, the lots of luggage.
Yes.
So that's okay.
Well, Jerri stole mine because I did the same thing. But
shoot.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I did not ask ChatGPT to do my luggage, Jerri.
I thought you did. No wardrobe tips?
However, in April, my daughter, this coming April, my middle child got me to sign up for a 10K. I'm a big person. I'll just say that. I ran before a long time ago, probably decades ago.
Kind of a big deal, though.
I'm kind of a big deal. And
Big
so
deal.
what I did is I went to ChatGPT and I said, okay, I have 16 weeks to go from the couch to a 10K. Write up a plan for an overweight, middle-aged male. And the first thing it said was, please consult a doctor. But then I said,
That's
okay,
true.
cool, looks good. Generate that in the form of a graph that I could post on my refrigerator. And it changed it into a graph that is day-to-day. So I have 16 weeks. And I've been checking it off on my fridge every day when I do whatever it is. And so it's got me a plan. And so far, I'm doing like 1 minute of running and 2 minutes of walking, but it's slowly, gradually getting me up there.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's
awesome.
great.
Let's see what the audience came up with. Most creative use in your life. We've got a few different choices here. Wait, did I make it happen? Oh, wrong.
It happened and then it went away.
It was there and then it went away.
Oh.
The magical technology. I'll get it to work up here in just a second. If that doesn't work, we'll go this way. Okay. There we go. Finishing my sentences when typing an email. Yes. You know, that's been happening for a long time. People say generative AI, but that's been around for almost 5 or 10 years.
I love Notebook
podcasts
LM.
are
Love
awesome.
it. Love it.
Yeah. Great way to read the teacher's handbook.
Yes, those bloodborne pathogens.
Yeah.
Plan an RV road trip to multiple states. I will say AI sometimes is a little aggressive with the travel. Like it thinks you can make it certain distances without stopping. It's like, just go here to here. Like you have to stop.
And I kind of tell it, tone it down.
I did one on that
Can't
travel.
do that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did one on travel, and I asked it. I'm traveling with a 13-year-old, 10-year-old, and 7-year-old. We came down to Orlando from Georgia, and I said, okay, how often should I plan my stops, and where are the best locations and the cleanest restaurants to stop? And so it gave me all that, and of course, Buc-ee's was very high on the list.
Buc-ee's.
As far as
Oh, we love Buc-ee's.
All right, next is our really fun question. What do you think will be the biggest effects of the upcoming administration on education?
Sorry.
Good luck, everybody.
Minefield.
Oh, I get to start. Oh, and I made this.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a big believer that disruption can be good and bad, depending on how it's used. I'm hopeful that disruption will, in that field, will give us some chances and opportunities for innovation. I'm hopeful that certain things still remain, like IDEA, things that we need, protections for our students. My thinking is that it's going to shift a lot more toward local control, because that seems to be the mantra. And so I guess it's going to come down to kind of what state you live in.
Yeah.
And lucky for me, no, sorry, I live in Texas. I'm in trouble. I'm just joking. It does depend. Again, it depends on what the state's going to roll out with. So it'll be interesting to see. I feel like the lack of guidance could be a problem, though, if we have that real lack of vision and guidance. Just like we talked about earlier with ed tech that succeeds, you need to have the vision and guidance.
Yes.
So when we have Linda on the podcast, maybe we'll ask her that question.
Yes.
But Jamie, what do you think?
Okay. So funding, right? I think that's the biggest question when it comes to education. What's going to happen with the funding? Going to the states could be good, could be bad. So disruption, like you said, I don't know. But then it's kind of like a tie for me too. Testing, that's really an unknown. We all want some changes with testing. I think that's the biggest problem with education. So is it going to get worse? Is it going to get better? I don't know. So there you have it.
Yeah, we just made the poll active. If you want to get in there, sorry about that. Yeah. Oh, Jerri, you're next.
Yeah, I have 2 things that I worry about. I worry about special needs students.
Mm-hmm.
Like, will every state take care of them the way that nationally we try to take care of them? And the other one is equity issues with student loans. I worry about student loans. If that is all privatized, will only the wealthy kids be able to get the student loans? So those are the 2 areas that I really am concerned about. So it wasn't funny or fun. that
That's
question.
okay. That's a hard one. These aren't all fun. I mean, these are real questions.
Yeah, but I think you guys are missing the most obvious one that's out there that we know
What?
should change. That's going to change, and this will affect a lot of our social studies classrooms. Probably day one. The maps in our room. Our
The maps?
Yeah, our maps. Yes, U.S. will now be changing. Now Canada will now be part of them, so we'll have to redo all of our maps.
It'll be a state.
The Gulf of America. So all those maps out the window.
gosh.
Everything will change. Greenland will now be part of the U.S. So all of our maps are going to have to change, even our flag. So, all those things will have to change with this new administration. It's happening. I mean, day one. I mean, those are the things that I see.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
Totally rethink that. Kind of like when Pluto was a planet and not. Same thing with Canada. Yes.
It's the same. It's the same.
Yeah, it's the same.
Let's see what the audience came up with on this one. Equity in education. Yes, that's going to be a tricky one, socioeconomic especially.
Yeah.
I think that too. The distrust of local system. That's a great point, and I think that's something that schools are going to have to continue to just share our story. I mean, you hear that a lot at these conferences, like tell your story, but how many of them are actually doing it? We're going to have to get ahead of that in a lot of ways.
Yes.
And then, of course, the state and local communities being equipped. I do think it's going to be interesting. It could be good. It could be bad again. And I could see maybe some geographical relocations based on, where you're going. I have 3 girls in the state of Texas. I have some concerns. I mean, I may need to move to a different state. I don't know. So again, those that can is great, but equity becomes another problem with that.
Yeah.
So these are good points. All right. Because Dr. McMahon is also from the wrestling world, we decided that in honor of her, we're going to ask this question next. What's your walk-up song? You ever watch wrestling or baseball or anything like that? There's the one walk-up song that you guys come up with. And I'll give this to the audience too. Think about what your walk-up song is. Like if you're coming out and you just need to get out there and just crush it. What is your one walk-up song? We're going to start with Jamie. You'll set this one up, and then I'll hit play when you're ready.
So I'm a Jersey girl. I have an Italian last name, Saponaro, but I always get mistaken for soprano. So I'm going to call this as my walk-up song. There you go.
Loud.
I have similar vowels. Yes. So there you go.
All right.
Who's up?
Jerry's next. Jerry, set yours up.
Okay, well, I have an androgynous name, Jerry, and I asked my parents, why did you name me Jerry? Because I hated it when I was a kid. And they said, well, we named you after Jerry Lee Lewis, Great Balls of Fire. But I prefer my walk-up song to be an updated.
There it is.
We go. That's a good one.
There it is.
I love it. It's hard not to come out with energy on that one. I
That's
love
right.
that.
It's the best. Yep.
I went with metal. I'm going to let this one play for a little bit.
Let it breathe.
Let it breathe. It's about a 60-second build-in.
Oh.
And it's by a band that's also named after a vegetable. Corn.
Oh, yes.
The song is Blind. And right here, it gets ready. Almost now. Now.
Good one.
And I don't know if you've ever seen those crowds on TikTok where they start moshing all of a sudden and people are swinging around. I was like, that's what when I come to a room, that's what I want to do.
That's it. That's the energy.
I mean that's pretty good. I mean, you saying with the veggies,
Yes.
Yes, there's veggies
Corn.
in corn. I like that. Here's my thing: when I hear walk-up songs, I think about walking to a board meeting. I'd love for this song to walk in when I have to do like a board report, and it's like, and now coming to the stage with from the technology department, Dr. Adam Phyall.
Oh.
Look at
That's good.
He's so fancy.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
I love
Nice.
it.
Very
I
nice.
mean, it would make board meetings more entertaining if everybody who had to speak
It
at the
would be
board
good.
had a walk-up song.
That 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And I would even dare say be able to stone cold stun somebody just in the middle of a board meeting, just walk out there, kick them in the gut, and just,
I love this. Yeah,
That
we
was
haven't
a-
been seeing board meetings on TV or on YouTube as
Yeah.
much lately. This might be a way to get them back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody
There you go.
challenge the board president
That's true.
for the gavel. Yeah, I can see that
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love it.
By the way, that's
Bring
the
it
most
back.
of that Kendrick Lamar song we could play legally. So here we go. What's your walk-up song? We asked the audience. There's a few of you have dropped some choices in here. Let's see. Oh yeah, Andrew Sandman. There was a
Good.
pitcher that used to come
Oh,
into
yeah.
that.
Andrew
It was
Sandman,
like
yeah.
Mariano Rivera for the Yankees walking on that.
Yeah.
I like Fight Song. Yeah, this is my fight. And Wrecking Ball.
Wrecking Ball is awesome.
That's a good one. I came
Yeah.
in like a wrecking ball.
That's a good one.
Love
Okay.
it.
All right. We have time for one more question. We're going to skip this next one. We're going to go to the audience choice. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this up a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to let the audience choose. So let me switch over. We're going to give you guys about a minute to think about something here that you want us to debate. What's the topic you want us to debate? It can be about anything, just something that's rattling around in your mind right now. And again, it could be fun, it could be serious. It's up to you. And what this will be a voting poll. So we're going to give you some time to kind of put some ideas there in the poll. And then what we'll do is you get a chance to vote up or down the ones you want us to debate about. So while you're doing that, one of the topics that we were going to talk about, that'd be interesting we can talk about while they're voting, is what would be a TV series or movie that represents your life the best? Any of you have some ideas on that? Go?
Yes.
Go ahead. What would yours be?
Oh, so mine is Legally Blonde. I'm from Kansas, and we are Kansas nice. And when you're a blonde girl and you're nice, you get talked over all the time. People don't put their faith in you. They doubt you. But just like Reese, underestimate me.
Yeah, that's
This'll
right.
be fun.
I dare you. Yeah.
I dare you. The other thing is, when I got my girl squad like Reese did, I could soar. When I had my girls behind me, I could move mountains. And I've always had a little therapy dog like Bruiser or Bowser or whoever it was.
True.
Yeah, so
That's
that
true.
would be mine. Legally Blonde.
Perfect. And
All
the
right, Jamie,
luggage and all of that. Yeah, it fits.
Yes.
Okay, so I didn't really know. So I asked Poe and Pi and Claude and ChatGPT and Perplexity, and the winner was Modern Family. So I told them all the same thing, that I'm a germaphobe, that Monk was one of them, but that wasn't.
Monk.
Yeah, Monk was one of them, but yeah, that I am a detail-oriented germaphobe. I am connector of people, problem solver, overly optimistic. My family is most important to me. And asked what movie. And and so Modern Family. Yeah. But they compared me to Phil, and that kind of scared me. But it's so true. It's so true.
I love it.
We got a couple in here already. We'll give you guys a few more chance to vote these up. There's a couple that are in there. I would say mine is actually your theme song, Jamie, is Sopranos. I'm part Italian. I've always identified some ways with Tony in the sense that I have this family life, but also when I'm on the road, it's just different. You know, I'm trying to kill it out there.
You're a girl dad,
not
but
kill
you're
it,
out
but
here.
Yeah, exactly.
But not
girl
kill
dad, do all
kill
that
it,
stuff.
but not
so
kill
for
it.
me, that show's always resonated with me, and again, just that theme song is so iconic too.
There you go.
This morning.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll go with like a show of my youth. And when I watched it as a kid with my family, I was watching it as a kid. So I saw myself as one of the kids in the family. But then I got a chance to watch the DVD set with my kids. And as I was watching it, I was watching from the parent's perspective. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just got on to my kids about that yesterday. And totally talking about this show here, The Cosby Show.
Yes.
Oh.
I told you wear your sweater.
Yes.
The sweaters.
Yes.
There's so many times going back into the panel, like, oh my gosh, that literally happened to us yesterday. My kids walked in the room and didn't knock on the door. And I said, you're supposed to go back out and knock. And they're like, who it is? And they were like, who it is? I'm like, my daughter literally did that. That was an episode. So yeah, I would say the modern Cosby Show or Blackish if you want to go for the newer shows.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely Cosby Show.
That's great.
We've got a tie here, so I'm going to put them up on the screen. But it looks like the two that they want us to talk about the most is cell phone bans. We could do one of each. We'll take a few seconds on each, and then will AI be the disruptor that finally changes structure in schools? Will schools just look the same in 10 years? We'll do this also panelist choice, so you can choose the one you want to go after. Do you want to talk about cell phone bans, or do you want to talk about AI as a disruptor? And first up on the docket is Adam.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna tackle cell phone bans. It's funny because history kind of repeats itself. I could have swore we had the same debate and conversation almost 20 years ago in schools about cell phones because they were still flipping phones. And I remember in the classroom, I would take phones from kids and they were using them in class. That's back when I could say, okay, just give me your battery. And they'd be like, phone, and they'd pop the battery off the back and hand me the phone. I'd keep the battery. I don't want your phone, give me the battery. Yeah. But here's the thing. When I think about bans in school, we need to do a better job of teaching kids how to and when to use their technology, because that's the computer they're going to have with them all the time. So not the Chromebook, not their iPad, they're going to have this thing. So we need to figure out a way to reconfigure our classrooms, our teaching and learning, where they are now using their cell phones each day to make lives better instead of like sending like hateful messages and all that stuff. But it's not just the kids that don't know how to use cell phones properly. It's our teachers, it's our administrators, it's our board members. So we need to make sure everybody does a better job of using their cell phones, not just our students. Don't blame the students for what the adults are doing poorly as well.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I have a counter to that a little bit. We have, is this working? Yeah. We have a Perspectives Finding Common Ground podcast. And then Jerri and I have a podcast, LinkedUp, Breaking Boundaries in Education. And we've talked about this topic several times on our episodes because it's frustrating. I find myself like, oh my God, a half hour just went by and I did literally nothing. And I want to throw it against the wall. So
how many of you have bands in your schools right now? High school? Middle school? Hands down. Interesting. Elementary? Okay.
Yeah, it's the reason why when you have a device, you're called a user. I'm just saying.
Interesting.
Okay.
100%.
Jerri, where do you want to go? You want to go to the AI disruptor?
Yes.
Let's you and I do that. You do that. Okay.
Yes, the AI disruptor.
Will it change education in 10 years?
I know. I wish I could say yes, but I don't think it's going to be just one thing, because we have to have the mentality and the courage to change the way we do the whole school structure. Like, do we have to be butts in seats 8 hours a day?
Right.
Is that what we have to do? I don't think so. And I think if we have forward thinkers and leaders that can visualize a future that's different, that makes sense for kids and engages them, I think AI can move it forward more quickly.
Yes.
I don't think it's going to be the sole reason schools change, because quite frankly, they do look a lot like they did in 85.
Yeah.
You're
hopeful, but
I'm hopeful.
It's going to take some structural change. I'll say my part of this, there's a school in Austin called the Alpha School. They're actually here at FETC. They have 5 campuses. They're going to have 16 next year.
Ooh.
They had some bad press to start, because in the Austin press, it said, school doesn't need teachers anymore. We now have AI. That was a headline, clickbaity. The truth is they have counselors, coaches, and facilitators, which is kind of what other things teachers are supposed to be doing anyway, in a lot of ways. So the way they work is they use AI to help the kids kind of get through some of the formulaic academic stuff. And then they have the kids do things like go into that room over there and build a piece of IKEA furniture in 1 hour. Which is, by the way, impossible.
Yeah.
Without yelling at your spouse, I should add.
I mean, that's like Squid Games in there. It's like, make this so something's going to happen to you, you know.
The one problem I have with it, though, I will tell you right now, is that this is a very exclusive. If you look at the clientele of the students at the school, it's privately funded. There's a lot of money that goes into it. So you can imagine what the makeup is. So equity's not there. But I also think, sometimes you have to have some sort of innovative lead point. My hope is that it becomes more widespread. So if we can learn from those practices and put it in public, I think I'm hopeful and I'm excited about it.
Exactly.
All right, look at that. 1 minute over, everybody. Thank you so much for being a part of the LinkedUp versus UnDisrupted podcast showdown, Smackdown.
Thanks, everyone.
Don't forget to subscribe and like, as the kids say.
That's right. Subscribe, and you'll be able to check this out. This will be our 161st episode. So check it out.
Check it out on the LinkedUp podcast. Yeah. That's right.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody.
And you can all stay charged.
Yeah, you got your plugs?
Everybody
all right.
Hey,
Go check out ClassLink booth.
Thank you for listening. And if you would like to stay linked up, be sure to follow us on Apple and Spotify, and subscribe to us on YouTube.